Hi, I'm Chris Lewis, firefighter for the Lakeville Fire Department. Welcome to another edition of On Call. The goal of this program is to educate and inform citizens of Lakeville about how Lakeville's all-volunteer fire department trains and responds to emergencies. Today we're going to look at a hidden danger that involves an appliance in many of our houses that most of us use every day. Clothes dryer fires account for over 15,000 structure fires, 15 deaths, and 400 injuries annually. 80% of clothes dryer fires in structures occur in residential buildings. Failure to clean is the leading factor contributing to clothes dryer fires in residential buildings. New home construction trends place clothes dryers and washing machines in more hazardous locations, away from outside walls such as bedrooms, second floor hallways, bathrooms, and kitchens. With us today is Jeff Perrett from Air Supply Technologies. Jeff, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
What can you tell us is the main reason behind dryer fires?
The main reason is your dryer vents that, depending on the length of the pipe, they plug up with lint, which backs up the airflow, which blows the air into your dryer and looks for little crevices to blow that lint. Eventually that lint finds the ignition source and starts your dryers on fire.
Okay, so if we have lint buildups and stuff like that, that's got to be in the piping from the dryer to the outside,
Yep,
right?
Yep, and there's different kinds of piping.
Okay, so we've got a couple of different examples here of piping. What are we looking at here? What do we have?
This here is a plastic flexible piping. I see this quite a bit in people's houses. It's not code. It's a petroleum product, so it can start on fire. And inside the pipe here, it's all rigid. So your air is making turbulent and your lint catches on these ridges in here and makes it really hard to clean out even.
Okay.
And a lot of that, so this is not code. This is not recommended. If you have this in there, get rid of it. Take it out, put something else in. Either put this type of elbow in, or you can use this here flex aluminum pipe. This stretches out and it bends back and forth, so you can make like an S-curve on there if you want.
Okay.
It also has ridges in here too, which can catch the lint on the inside, and it makes the air turbulent as it's going through, so it cuts down the airflow.
Okay.
I see this quite a bit in houses when the hole in the wall does not match up with the dryer, so they try to use this flexible stuff and to get it to hook up. If you can use an elbow, 90-degree elbow, which is adjustable, behind the dryer into the wall, this would be the best. You got a smooth surface, lint does not catch on this that easy, and then you got the long aluminum piping, 4-inch piping is what you want to use out of the dryers. And when you hook this up, you want to make sure you hook it up the right way from the male into the female, so that the lint, this would be on the dryer side, because you don't want the lint to catch on these edges. If you put it in backwards the other way, which I see that once in a while. So then we have to repipe the whole thing.
Okay, so going back here, do you see this stuff a lot in like residentials, commercials? Is there somewhere more common or not? Or
I do see this once in a while, and it's just, it does not work good. It's very dangerous, and it's not code. So when you have this, this will dry out and crack, and I see it where it's brown, where it's been burnt.
Okay.
Over a period of time.
And then this is flammable too, correct?
And this is flammable. This is not code in any city, so do not use this. If you have it, get rid of it as soon as possible.
Okay, but this stuff is code.
This stuff is all code here. Yep, this is stuff that you can use. It's just now you want to push that moisture and whatever lint makes it through the lint trap outside of the pipe, so it doesn't back up on you. So this here makes a little bit of turbulent airflow. This here works the best along with the rigid pipe. Any rigid pipe should work great.
So that's what you want.
But in some places, you have to use this. I mean, it's this.
But this is the ideal, right?
This is the ideal setup. Yep.
Okay. So once we're got our piping and everything fitted or set in our house, and we got to go outside where the vents are.
You got to go outside.
Yep. What do we want to know about being outside? You know, different hazards, different maintenance, or stuff like that we need to think about.
A lot of times I see this outside of your typical flapper vent like this here, and what it has is a flapper on there that you want it to close, especially in the wintertime, because if it's open, if it's plugged up with lint up in the hinges up here, you're going to get cold air in there.
Okay.
And that cold air is going to turn that moisture back into, that steam back into moisture, which can cause water problems in the ceiling. Also, this flapper in the springtime, birds are looking for places to nest. They can get in here.
Okay.
They can make this flap come up and they hop in there and they build their nest, which will cut down your airflow. And one thing you can tell if you have birds in there is if you have bird poop down the siding of your house, because they poop right on the side there. So to keep them out, you can use something like this here. It's a little screen that you can use, and it pops right in there, and it'll keep the birds out. But it'll build up with lint, so you got to check this several times a year to make sure that it's clean. The cleaner this here is, the better your dryer will work. And if you don't have one on there now, you can go to Menards, Home Depot, and you can get one that'll fit right over, and it'll screw onto your siding.
Okay.
And that'll work very well.
All right, fantastic. So, and then do we have to worry? Say I'm gonna put some new piping in or anything like that. I know we have special tape here that we want to use as well, right?
When you put your pipes together, what you use is it's aluminum foil tape. You don't want to use duct tape. Duct tape dries out and your pipe will fall apart. You do not use screws on dry vent pipe because your lint will catch on that and will restrict your airflow. So get a good quality aluminum tape, and you can't use too much.
Okay.
Put a good seal on there and make sure it's nice and flattened down, and that should work pretty well.
And that will work with this this type of pipe.
That'll work with this also. You may want to even have to use like a hose clamp. That'll work on here.
Okay.
It'll work better.
All right, fantastic. So now we've got our fittings and our piping and everything all set up. What can you tell us about maintenance or cleaning it out, or what do we need to look at here?
If you got short runs that are 4 feet and you can see the pipe, you can attempt to clean it yourself. I've seen brushes like this here where you can pull your dryer out and run this through and get it somewhat clean, get it fairly clean. The longer runs that you have, especially in a basement that's finished off, if you're running this pipe, this brush through this pipe, what can happen, you might move this pipe. If you move this pipe, it came disconnected somewhere.
Okay.
And now you got a finished basement. Now you got to make a hole in the ceiling to repair that. And you still have a dirty pipe that you have to do. So the longer the run, and it's through a finished ceiling, you might want to hire a professional to do it.
Okay.
We got ways that we can do it without running brushes through there. We use high air pressure and to get the lint out.
Jeff, are there like any signs or symptoms that your dryer vent might need to be cleaned out?
Yeah, if your dryer takes longer than, say, 1 cycle, that might be an indication that you might need the ductwork cleaned out. If your clothes come out damp and warm, but they're still not dry, that's the indication that your dryer's working fine, but the ductwork might need to be cleaned.
Okay. And then, and that's when you would either, I mean, would it be as simple as cleaning your lint trap? I mean, some people might not even.
You have a lint trap. Some people I go to, they don't even know they had a lint trap, and I look at it and it's like, oh my goodness. But yeah, you have a lint trap either on top and the back that you pull out, and clean it every load. If you clean it every load, it gives that airflow more chance to blow out lint that's in the pipe.
Okay.
And the ones in the door, just take it out, and you can look down in there and see if there's a built-up lint down beyond the screen. And if you're handy, you can possibly take that off and vacuum that out.
All right, so it's just be something you can just stick your shop vac on there or house vacuum on there, maybe get a little bit extra out of there.
Yep. Okay. The more you get out of it, the better it is. And then it's also like in townhouses and associations, every association is different. Some people, the owner's responsible. Other places, the association and the management is responsible. So check with the management company and see who's liable for getting their dryer vents cleaned out.
All right, fantastic. Are there certain like guidelines for as often as you should clean them? Are there factors that might make your piping dirtier or more hazardous or what have you?
I have a lot of people asking me that, and there's so many variables. Depends how many people are in the house.
Okay.
Depends if you have pets. If you have pets, you get more of that hair into the pipe, which plugs it up more. And it depends on how long the run is. And it depends what kind of dryer you have. Each dryer has a different airflow that it kicks out. So the more airflow you got, the less you would have to do it.
Okay.
But there's a lot of variables on what kind of clothes you throw in the dryer. If it's new clothes, they give off a lot of lint, which is going to get past the screen trap and get caught in the pipe more.
We've touched on a lot of different pipes. We've touched on cleaning and maintenance. I think we should go out, maybe try cleaning a house or two and taking a look and see what we can do, show people how that works.
Sounds like a good idea. Let's do it.
Perfect.
Hi.
Jeff, how are you?
Good.
Good. All right, so here we are at a residential house. What are we gonna do here today?
We're going to go inside and look at the dryer, make sure it's hooked up properly.
Okay.
Look inside below the lint trap, make sure that's nice and clean, and probably get it cleaned out.
Just see how people can do it themselves.
See how
if
people can
possible.
do it themselves, yep. See, you know, if it's a short run, there should be no problem that they can do it themselves.
All right, perfect. Let's go take a look.
All right.
All right, Jeff, here we are inside kind of your standard residential house, and we have our washer and dryer, and we're going to look at kind of the fittings or the piping or whatever, and the lint traps. What are we going to look at here with these?
Looking at this here, it's insulation on a rigid pipe. This is a solid pipe here, which is perfect. This is a great insulation. It's short. This is something that a homeowner can clean them out himself. If he just wants to pull the dryer out and disconnect it, he can take the whole thing off both sides if he wants to run a brush through there and clean it and visually inspect, make sure that it's clean. Also, what you want to do is look at your lint screen here. On every load, you want to clean this out. Some people use fabric softeners, and what will happen is it'll all get gooked up on here with the fabric softener material.
Okay.
And what you need to do is run it under hot water with an old toothbrush or something and get that all cleaned out. And if it's gummy here, it's also going to be gummy in the pipe. So they need to be cleaned out more often.
All right.
And then you want to look down inside here, make sure that this looks very clean, very nice. That it's nice and clean, because a lot of times what will happen is your lint will sit on the bottom in here, and as it collects, a big chunk might run through the pipe and plug up the pipe. So you want to make sure that this stays nice and clean. You can vacuum it out. This here comes off fairly easy with like 3 screws.
Okay.
So if you're a little bit mechanical, you might be able to take this off and get your vacuum cleaner in and get it nice and cleaned out. But this one dryer looks like it's been well maintained and taken care of.
Okay. And one more thing I wanted to look at with this pipe back here, this insulation on it, is that required? Is that code?
That's required. That's code. I believe it's the last 10 feet of piping needs to be insulated. This is only 4 feet, so. But whoever installed it did a very good job of installing that, and it looks nice and solid. It's not going to come off. And
okay, perfect.
They did a good job.
Fantastic.
So this is something that the homeowner can do.
Okay. All right, great. All right, Jeff, so here we are outside of a house right now looking at a vent. What can you tell us about this one?
This vent's a lot longer than the last one that we looked at, so this one here is probably going to have to be done professionally because you got more elbows and the length is a lot longer. And we got minimal airflow on this here. So this one here will get cleaned out. Another thing that you want to do is make sure that it's nice, clean, and free of lint. Make sure that trap door can close on there. So when you get it all cleaned out, we'll go back and make sure that it's nice and get a flush closure on the door so that the cold air does not get back in.
All right, perfect. Well, I appreciate your time today, joining us, informing us about different factors that go into dryer ventilation and what we need to do to clean them out and help them prevent dryer fires.
My pleasure.